Hello, parents and students, and welcome to the third week of English Language Arts. Just wanted to give you a quick recap of last week. Last week we took the SRI, or Scholastic Reading Inventory test, and I will be sending home results of that with students on Tuesday. In addition, we got our textbook codes that enabled us to access the textbook online at my.hrw.com, and we also signed up for Biblionasium, which was a site that allowed us to record a reading log of the books that we've read this year for independent reading, with the goal of reading a minimum of 25 books for each student. So this week we're going to shift gears. It's going to be a very short week. However, it's going to be a very important week as we're going to go ahead and launch the very first project. So this video here is going to give you an overview of the project. So Biblionasium is actually going to help us out a lot when we're completing our first book report project. If you would just follow along with me, I'm gonna go to our class website at www.tinyurl.com/Madame Thomas, which you have probably already accessed if you're coming to this video. And what I'm going to do now is click on the Forms and Documents page. So this is going to open up and it's going to give us access to our Unit 1 book report project. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Download. And that's what you can do if for some reason you misplaced the book report guidelines. So once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And here are our book report guidelines. So I'm just going to go step by step through this with you so you know what to expect in terms of our book report. So it's going to be worth 100 assessment points, which is a significant portion of the grade. So this is a very important project. So you are going to be selecting a book of your choice within 50 points of your current SRI Lexile level. And this we're going to actually practice picking out books in class, but we're going to go ahead and access our Biblionasium site. So www.biblionasium.com, and I'm going to go ahead and sign in here. Created a test kid account, so just to see what it's going to look like. Okay, so once we're here in the Biblionasium account, then we can use some of the tools to help us pick out books that are on level for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to our left side where it says My Books, and I'm going to click on it. Okay, so here we have our bookshelf, and we can start adding a wish list of books. And this right here, this is a tool that's going to help us select books that are around our level. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to click on where it says wish list. Okay, once I get here, then I can click on where it says search for books. And I'll be able to actually find a book that I'm interested in reading by going down to the second option, search by category or an Lexile reading level. Now the Lexile, that's going to be the score that I give students on the paper that I send home Tuesday. And let's say that I have a score of approximately 1,000, okay? So in order to pick an appropriate book for my book report project, if I have a score of 1,000, then I'm going to search for books that are within 50 points of my Lexile level. So for a minimum, I'm going to put 950, and for a maximum, I'm going to put 1,050. And of course, you'll look within 50 points of your own Lexile level. So this is just an example. And if I have a certain category that I want to read, then I can select it here. So let's say that I'm really into sports books, okay? So I have my criteria set. Sports books between 950 to 1,050 Lexile points. And then when I click on Go, then what it's going to do, it's going to give me a wide selection of different books that I might want to read. And when I hover over them, then I can see a little bit what each book is about. Like this one right here, Taekwondo. If I'm really into martial arts, then I can see that this one introduces the history, basic moves, and terminology of this martial art. So if this is one that I want, I can add this to my wish list, okay? And here, I'll just click on add this to my wish list, and next, and next. And I don't really need to send it at this point in time. But as you can see, I've added it to my wish list. And this way, if I go to the library, then I can get this book from the library, and it's going to, and I'll know that it's on my level and it's an appropriate book for me to read. Okay, so let's say that I have a book at home and I don't know what Lexile level it is. I want to see if it's appropriate to my level. So what I can do, I'm going to show y'all another site. It's called Lexile.com. So when I go there, then my page looks like this. And then up here, there's a quick book search. So what I can do is I can type in the title of my book and click on where it says search. And when it does that, then I can see here that the Hunger Games book, for example, if I'm reading that, this Lexile is 810. Now, if my Lexile was 1000, if that's what I tested on the SRI, then I know that this book is too easy for me and I need to pick something else. So I can go back to the drawing board and I can look up a different book. So feel free to do that as well. And between those two ways, you should be able to pick a book that's on your level for the book report project. So once again, make sure that you take your SRI score, which tells you your Lexile, and look for books that are within 50 points of that, either 50 points below to 50 points above. So you'll have a nice little window, about 100 points, that can tell you which books are good for you to read. Okay? Okay, so let's say that we have our book now and we finished reading it. So now the next step is that we'll go back to our project guidelines page and we are going to pick one of the 4 options. Now, before I go into the options, let me remind you that the finished product should be at least 3 pages long, okay? So for each of these options, like I said, they should be at least 3 pages long, typed. So your first option is that you can write an in-depth report on a character in the book. So you can pick your favorite character, and I've included some sample questions to help you shape your writing. So that's option 1. Option 2 is that you could write a new ending for the story, and you want to also include a brief summary of how the book actually ended. Okay? Your third option is to actually put yourself in the book. Imagine that you're one of the main characters and you're going to write a diary account of daily thoughts and activities for 2 weeks or so, a minimum of 2 weeks, which is 14 days in the life of your character. And last but not least, you could pick option 4, which is thinking of a situation that happened to a character in the story and writing a report on how he or she could have handled it better or differently. Okay? So all of this work should be typed and submitted through Edmodo. And when you're typing it, I want you to keep the following in mind. Double space your work. We'll practice that when we go to the lab on September 9th. So we want to double space our work. Make sure that our work is size 12 font. We definitely want to spell check it. And leave the margins alone. That's a little bit more complicated, but you know, as long as you don't mess with the margins, then everything will be a-okay. All right. So that's pretty much the project in a nutshell. We're going to go over it more in class. All right, now let me take you to the second page of the project. This is our rubric here. Like I said, the project is worth 100 assessment points. So you have 100 total points here. You're going to be graded on 6 categories, the first one being organization, and you want to make sure that your writing is well organized. You can put subheadings to separate your work. That can definitely help you out. We'll talk more about that in class. Also, you want to make sure that you have the quality of writing there that we're looking for, where the information really relates to the main topic. So you stay focused on your writing. In addition, you want to make sure that you don't have any kind of crazy spelling, punctuation, or grammar errors. That's where spell check is really going to help you out. And also, I'm going to ask you to get your parents to review your work before you turn it in. You're going to get 15 points if you have chosen a book appropriate to your Lexile level, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment on how we'll ensure that that's the case. Also, you have your length requirement, a minimum of 3 pages, And finally, you're going to turn in the last page of this packet. You're going to turn in the hard copy to the class inbox. So you're going to give me the hard copy on the 27th. All right, so let's take a look at the last page here and see what it entails. On this last page, you're going to put your name, your class period, the date, and then you're going to fill out the information and request. You're going to put the name of the book, the author. You're going to include your most recent tested SRI Lexile level. So the example that I gave was 1,000. So I would put 1,000 there. So you're just going to copy pretty much the sheet that I gave you. Whatever number was on there, you're going to go ahead and write that into that blank. And then on the next line, you're going to put down the Lexile level of your book. So it might be a good thing to fill out this page, or to fill out this first part of the page as soon as you find your book. And that way you won't forget what your book Lexile level is. So go ahead and fill that information in. And down here at the bottom, then you're saying that you have read your book, and you're turning in your work. And before you've done so, you've checked it for spelling, grammar, and content, and you've also given it to your parents to check. And this way, I want to make sure that you turn in some work that you can really be proud of, and that you've tried your best, and I'm sure that it's going to come out wonderfully. So you're just going to go ahead and sign and date it, and your parents will sign and date it as well. So that's going to be pretty much your project in a nutshell. So the whole thing is due once again on September 27th, which will be the last Friday of the month. So so that's when your project will be due. If you have to turn it in late, then make sure that you just speak to me ahead of time, and we'll go ahead and make any arrangements. But if we don't speak, then I won't know. So so make sure that we talk if there's some kind of issue that's going to require you to turn in your work late. One more thing I want to talk about, extra credit options. Now, if we go back up here to page 1, you have 2 extra credit options, and these come in handy in case you don't reach your full 100 points for some reason, or in case there's some kind of issue where you need to boost your grade up in other areas of the class. So you can choose one of these 2 options for up to 20 extra credit assessment points. The first thing is that you can create a PowerPoint presentation of your project to share with the class, and you'll have no less than 5 slides. You can have more if you want, about your report, about the findings of your report. And your second option is if you want to create a video or podcast about your book, then you could definitely do that, just ranging in length from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Okay, so you could do either one of those and get some extra credit points that will be a nice boost up on your grade. So that's your project in a nutshell. I hope that you all have a great time doing it. I'm really looking forward to seeing the results. Just a couple of quick housekeeping things before we conclude. Wanted to make sure that everyone remembers to check School Max on a regular basis for your grades in the class, and that's going to tell you exactly where you are. So make sure you do that. Also, Scholastic book packets are due back to school on September 16th. Okay, so make sure to turn those in if you plan on ordering any books. If you have any questions about anything at any time, feel free to contact me. My email address is sarahjanethomas@pgcps.org, and my number is 301-702-3950, extension 251, and that's a school number, so feel free to contact me on that with any questions you have. Also, students, there are office hours available if you need to see me about anything on B days at lunchtime, with the exception of Wednesdays. And I also meet with people during lunchtime by appointment. So feel free to let me know if you have any questions based on anything that we've done in class, and I will be more than happy to assist you. So hopefully everyone has a wonderful week. Looking forward to more high quality work. Keep up the good work. I am so impressed with everything I've been seeing. So take care and see you guys soon. Have a good one. Bye.